Okay. Taylor,
let's catch up. It's an NFL podcast with Taylor Bisciotti and Sam Betesh, brought to you by Untuck It. And we have a special guest today. It's Erica, Ricky Hollywood. At
hello.
What's up?
This is exciting.
How are we doing?
Erica, we're doing great. Now, Taylor today says to me, actually yesterday, oh my God. I think we can do this with Erica. I think we can figure it out. In fact,
we've been wanting to do it all year. But
we knew it. But to actually do it and to all be on the screen together, I just kind of, in my mind, I was picturing like maybe we can make that happen. But no, Erica walked us through the entire process.
You know, it's a blessing and a curse. I am a technical wizard.
So talented. She's talented at everything.
Yes, it comes to bite me in the ass many, many times, unfortunately.
Well, it's funny because when Sam and I first started podcasting last year, we were kicking things off. And so I had him, just as an example, listen to a podcast that I went on and did it with you, with the broadcast girls, and it was amazing. And so we've been dying to get you on here. So thank you for joining us during the quarantine. I know you've had a million other things that you could be doing right now, you know, watching TV, drinking.
Yeah, schedule is very busy.
It looks like, you know, I've been following you on Instagram and it looks like you've been extremely busy. I saw that you were hitting your old tennis racket that looked like it was from maybe 1992.
Yep.
Against the garage.
Yes.
You look really into that.
Thank you. Yep. Been doing that. Some workouts. I just ordered an elliptical bike off Amazon.
Wow.
Wait a second. Tell me more about this. An elliptical bike?
It's like a stand-up, sit down.
How many of those have been broken? Did you read the reviews?
No. I would not do this under any circumstances. I don't understand people that run necessarily without people chasing them. And I don't understand people who ride bikes.
This is why we get along. This is why would I go run?
What's the point of that?
Why would I injure my lungs?
Are people chasing you?
No, but the food, I am chasing the food. Okay, so, you know, this quarantine, I'm really eating and drinking my way through this. Yeah.
Me too. I just told you guys before we started, I've been baking up a storm. My diet, which is always terrible.
Wait a second. You've been baking without me there? So I move away to a random hotel room and you are just baking without me?
So you're just stuck in a hotel room? What's that? What's that all about?
It's really strange. So here I am in Connecticut now, which is really actually quite beautiful and actually nicer than Los Angeles, which is odd, but the weather's been incredible. But
sounds real great.
We
should all go give it a try. Maybe we'll do it after the quarantine.
I think so. So tell me, so the number one thing, the elliptical bike, Erica, tell me about this. Have you actually taken it out of the box? What's the story?
No, it hasn't come in yet. Just ordered it. It was about $170 off Amazon. So I bet I'll get probably one use out of it before it breaks easily. Like it's not going to last more than 10 minutes.
There's no way.
But I'm always tethered to my computer and I'm doing so many editing and projects and working all the time that I was like, well, maybe if I could sit on my ass and edit, but sort of work out.
Open the wine.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
So what's been the number one thing? So Taylor, you have been remarkably inside through this. I feel like nobody
I have been
paying
really
more attention to the
I've been taking it
than Taylor. This is very
my roommates
by the
joke
book.
around and call me CNN because I've been following this since before it kind of was a thing. I just knew that it was coming because I was actually in Florida for a bachelorette weekend at the beginning of March, and I had heard about it and just started really following it. And of course we had all heard about it, but you could tell that it was going to be bad there just from the way that people were starting to kind of be cautious about going out in big groups and whatnot. And so right when this started hitting, I'm overly paranoid about it, but I also just realized how much and how crucial and critical it was for everybody to stay inside.
Yeah.
I think you're just being safe.
I've really been inside. And I've made the most. I think that's fine. You know, I've like I said, I've been baking, eating, drinking. And I realized through all this, people say, you know what, you come out a better person. Yeah, I realized I really only like doing non-essential activities.
Good for you. Good for you, like baking and walking around and doing nothing. All right, fantastic.
To cap things off, hold on, just to cap things off.
Give it to me.
Friday night last week, I'm in the bath. I'm like, this is going to be a nice Friday night. Got wine. Just laying down, pondering the meaning of life. And all the lights go out. Pitch black dark.
Wow.
You want to talk about how you've never run? I feel like an Olympian. I shot out of the bathtub, sprinted into my room, jumped under the covers within 2 seconds because somehow whatever was coming my way, if I was under the covers butt naked, I was going to save myself in my own head.
You'll be safe.
My rationale.
No, you'll be safe. You'll be
safe.
safe.
Now I
wouldn't worry
know that I
about it
need
at
to
all.
work on my fight or flight skills.
That's
All right,
great.
I have a question for both of you, though. Obviously, there was a tremendous interview done with Tom Brady, and I want to know about this. Cheers to that story, and cheers to this. Erica, I'm sure that you were all over Howard Stern and Tom Brady today. And I have been absolutely counting the days to hear something like this. I mean, a sentence involving Howard Stern and Tom Brady any day
I love Howard
is
Stern.
just of course.
In general,
this is
Howard
a
Stern comes
godsend
again.
for
I'm
all
reading
of
his
us
book right now.
media.
Obsessed.
Okay. So what was the number one takeaway for you, Taylor, from what happened today? And then I want to get from you, Erica, because I loved many different pieces of this today. And it didn't feel, for some reason, it didn't feel so much like a Stern interview, probably because of what's going on right now. And Tom isn't in studio with them. So it was just, I felt like it was still guarded. But I want to know from both of you. Taylor, you first. What'd you love about this?
I think that Howard Stern is probably a top 5 journalist, host, whatever it is, interviewer, because he can take somebody's situation and just get them to break down and open up and talk about things that they never planned on talking about before. And I think that Tom Brady even said in the interview, he's been following Howard Stern for a while. He totally respects him, respects his work ethic and how he kind of goes about things. I don't think that Tom planned on opening up about his relationship with Giselle. So I thought that was very interesting. I think that he was raw in that regard by saying, you go through ups and downs. Not everything is not always perfect. And I also thought that he seemed to be very real about the situation with the Patriots, saying, look, I thought at the beginning of last year that I wasn't going to be with the team moving forward. And there's no bad blood. There's no animosity, but we've done everything that we could together. And I want to continue playing for a team that could possibly be competitive and win. And I want to try playing for another coach. I want to try playing for another organization. No disrespect to the Patriots organization. I thought that it was such a good interview. And I do think that people want to hear Tom Brady lash out. Maybe he just isn't that type of guy. Maybe he is the perfect, and trust me, I hate saying it too, but maybe he is just like one of those great, perfect guys. And
I think Tom Brady was made in a laboratory. I have nothing
negative to say coming.
I think Tom Brady was made in a laboratory as the perfect specimen. I think you're right. He's not only the perfect teammate, he's the perfect husband. Mm-hmm. He's been, frankly, he's the perfect former teammate already with what he said today about the Patriots, I thought. So I think you're onto something there, Taylor. Erica, tell me just for you what absolutely jumped out first and foremost from what you heard today.
Well, first of all, I think what you say and what you mean can be different things. So
True.
I take a lot of that interview with a grain of salt. He's like, I'm not a legacy guy. Well, you had a Facebook TV show called Tom versus Time. Like, your legacy is what you make up.
Matters.
And he is a great guy, and he's been trained under Belichick. He's been trained to not say anything, to not speak out, to not cause news. The fact that he was swearing in the Stern interview was just like mind-blowing to me, because we've never ever heard Brady like this. So I think this is him sort of like flirting with danger, but also he's like, he does want a new chance. There wasn't bad blood. I don't think we'll ever know what really happened, but he wants to prove that he can win without Belichick. That's it. That's the bottom line.
That's fine.
Exactly.
I think that everybody to their own, whether there is bad blood or not, but everybody on their own wants to feel like they can accomplish something without their sidekick, without that one thing that people are always going to say, oh, well, he didn't do this without this person.
Wait, I completely disagree. I completely disagree. Here's why.
Okay.
If you're winning at that level,
but they have been
those people. Okay, I'm saying if you're winning at that level with those people around you, with the formula, and Brady to me feels like a guy who's very much into the routine, and part of the routine is being surrounded by Josh McDaniels, by Scarnecchia, by Belichick. Why not keep it up? I just don't understand. For a guy
did you not see what happened last year? They had no weapons. There's no money for them to tap into.
No weapons, but again, this is a team that wins their
what
division every year, that hosts playoff games.
There was no way that Tom Brady could have won with that team.
But to me, Taylor, you talk about him doing it on his own. I feel like he kind of had to do it on his own last year.
Exactly.
He was doing it, like you said, without the weapons.
100%.
But he's still got Belichick. I don't strive for life to be more difficult. I strive for it to be less difficult. I feel like Brady's life is less difficult being in New England with Bill Belichick. And I would have kept that up for as long as I possibly could have. And I understand the concept of wanting to do more without them, but actually going and doing it, I don't know. I would
Why
have
not,
just
though?
held on for dear life as long as I
Yeah.
Why
could.
not try something new?
I
You've
don't know.
already.
Why not be? I don't.
It
I think I'd
obviously
rather
wasn't an
do something
ideal
new.
situation there.
No, I mean clearly there was something there. And look, I think he said it today, Eric, and I want to get to you on this. He clearly alluded today to the fact that he just knew. He even said, "I don't want to coach, but if I were a coach, I would understand the concept of wanting to move on from somebody who's at my age, even though I am defying what it means to play at this age." So he understands that it really wasn't going to happen there. That
Look,
if
that
he was
team needs to
going
start
to
building
play, it
for
was
the
probably going to
future.
have to be somewhere
They're not
else.
going to be able to pay him top dollar, which is what he wants and what he deserves. And then not to mention, he wants to be put into a system where he can play to his strengths. And his strengths are having a strong receiving core, a tight end, running back around him where he can't be successful. And he still feels like he's got it in him to go win another ring. But the only way that he's going to be able to go get that other ring is with another team with those weapons.
And look, I guess I just disagree there. I don't see Tampa as the opportunity for the ring. I don't see Tampa as the easier path. I don't see Tampa as stamp them in for a home playoff game I don't think I have the history. I mean, they changed their jerseys to go back to their epic era of having a pretty good defense and winning the one Super Bowl the way they did. And we're talking about Warren Sapp and Warwick Dunn. It's a long time ago. I mean, Tampa does not have any sort of history there. And now maybe Brady makes it. But I mean, Erica, what do you think on him leaving and what it really meant?
I agree with both of you, which is the funny part is like, I don't think that he could win again with the New England team that they had. I think Bill Belichick is like, he doesn't want to get his side of things and get weapons around him. Exactly. And they didn't do a ton of work in free agency either. And that's just the type that it is. I don't necessarily think that the Bucs are going to be the team that I think in a perfect world, I would have loved Brady to get the ring with the Patriots one last time, retire with the huge
we're
parade.
Talking to the Patriots fan number one over here.
Exactly.
By the way.
I wanted to watch him ride off in the sunset with Patriots fans screaming his name with their tattoos and Boston and near Gillette, but that didn't happen. And so now it's like
I want this is the sick. I love tearing down the Patriots because everybody's jealous of them, let's be honest.
Right.
But I would love to see Tom Brady go and be incredibly successful with this Buccaneers team.
I want to see that too.
Now I'm with you on that. I will say this much. What happened to me 2 days ago when I saw the new
listening
jerseys,
to him just speak, he's just a class act. Honestly, he's a good guy. He's had to fight and he's had to work.
Keep saying that, Taylor. What are you saying? Like,
like
about Tom Brady?
Hard not to like. He even discussed.
I think she's reading out of your journal, Erica.
Yeah, seriously.
How when he first started dating Giselle, and he found out that his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend was pregnant at the time. That's just not something that somebody would really open up to this many millions of fans when every single move that he makes, he's always gotten criticized. And so he clearly showed a vulnerability. And one other thing that I thought was interesting is that Howard Stern kept on saying, we've scheduled interviews before, and for some reason they've always fallen through and you've never done them. He said, I've always wondered, you said that you wanted to do it. So is it the Patriots saying no? And he never really,
that's a great,
he gave him kind of an out and didn't make him answer it, but Tom kind of evaded the question and just kind of kept on talking, whatever he said. But it is interesting to think that maybe the Patriots did have that kind of control on him. So if they were that over the top controlling of Tom Brady, the number one most valued player in that organization,
that he would want to get out from under that.
Like, let me go and ride off into the sunset and prove that I can do this
without you.
But again, I think wanting to prove it without you is one thing, and I respect that. But
what does he have to lose?
Proving it, I just think, what does he have to lose?
I applaud him.
Here's what he has to lose. The idea in my mind that every year Tom Brady wins 11 games, hosts a playoff game, and likely ends up in the championship round. That's what he loses. What he loses.
But what kind of satisfaction at this point does that give you?
Oh, we lost him there.
Talk about losing.
Yeah.
But what kind of satisfaction does that give you? Like you've done this over and over again. You've proven to yourself that you can do this with this organization. You've proven you can do this with this team. Why not go out there and why not change the narrative? and become the story and let yourself free of whatever it is that's kind of holding you back or holding you down. Because there obviously was, whether or not he's willing to open up or even acknowledge that aspect of it, there was something like that. If you can't even go on a radio interview with Howard Stern, which Howard Stern is very controversial, but if you can't even go on a radio interview, there's got to be plenty of other things that they kind of controlled in his life, and they were, welcome back, Sam, that they were controlling.
Look at this.
We lost you.
How does that happen?
It's all
How did I
good.
just jump myself back in?
But no, we are just finishing up about the Tom Brady Howard Stern interview.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was pretty crazy just to hear him like that, but I think it's the final race. Like,
by the way, and the time that he sat there for that interview,
for
2
hours. My God. Insanity.
On the phone.
Yeah.
On the phone. That was impressive. I will say. I mean, I so wanted, when I started the day thinking Brady's going to be on with Stern, I'm just in my mind, I just go right to picturing them in the studio together. And so there was that disappointment for me when I'm hearing it on the phone. It seemed so more traditional than it would have if he was really in there. If he was in there with Howard, do you understand how much more we would have gotten out of this?
I know.
Howard doesn't let you leave that studio without deep, dark stories about
kind
things
like
that we all have wanted to know about for years.
Yeah.
No, it was, look, we know why he didn't go in, but I just think there was so much there. Taylor, you made a lot of good points, and I'm sorry that I disappeared there for a second. I guess my thing is I want to see Tom take those pewter jerseys and do something special with them and exciting and put the Bucs in that championship round. But in my mind, I just picture losses to the Saints and close games with the Panthers and maybe splitting with the Falcons instead of just running through the AFC East and being on top of the AFC. I enjoyed that. That's like, Eric, I'm sure for you as a true fan, you wanted to see that. You would have gladly welcomed that another 2 years.
Oh, easily. I would have been there. I don't want it to end like this. His last throw in a Patriots uniform was a pick six, or that interception in the playoffs.
Ryan. No, it was pick six to end that game against the Titans.
That's gonna sting, even though all the good years and a lot of people are like, you've had it so good, you don't know what it's like to lose, you're a Patriots fan. It's like, imagine your hero walking off in the distance like that. Like, it just doesn't sit well.
He gave us the Hulu ad.
Yeah, we got
we all knew it was coming.
Oh,
well, Eric, tell me this, because a lot of people will do this. I've done this before. It's tough when you root for a player for that many years. On one,
the player or the team,
right? Taylor, this because we've done this. Taylor and I kind of adopt players and then teams throughout. Like Taylor and I got massively into the Chiefs.
I mean, I really adopted Jimmy Garoppolo.
You did.
Anyway, listen, I'm not letting anybody in my house with this coronavirus thing. If he knocked on my door,
I said this the other day, by the way.
My friend right next to me. Just saying.
It's so funny that you just said that, Taylor. I just asked my friend the other day. I said, "Would you?" And he looked at me, basically saying, "It would kind of depend on the situation."
Right, exactly.
You're so right. Yeah, if Jimmy shows up, what do you?
Absolutely.
Oh, whatever. You've got gloves on. We're good.
Yeah, come on in.
But Erica, are you gonna make you wear gloves?
You think you'll be rooting, Erica, for the Bucs in some way?
I think I will be. Yeah, and it kind of sucks to say that, and I know that there's three kinds of fans in Boston, especially friends of mine. There's the people that are Patriots ride or die. Yeah, F Brady. He didn't want to stay with us.
Yeah.
He left us. You know what? We don't need him. We've got Bill, and Bill we trust. They've got their t-shirts, whatever. There's the people that I would consider myself in that are like heartbroken, feel sad, kind of are worried about what the Patriots are going to be. What is Jared Stidham going to be leading us for, through the first beginning of the season? I don't even know. We don't there's talks of Cam Newton, or like if Jameis Winston comes to New England, I'm going to jump off the bridge.
The draft, the virtual draft, kind of like what we're doing right now. By the way, who wants to see a play-by-play of the draft
like
night
this
right here?
Right here.
Taylor, I want to see you, Taylor, commenting on the draft in exactly this kind of a 3 box.
Done.
Because
I want to see Erica jump into a virtual pool.
I've seen you host virtual events. It's designed for you.
This was built for you, Taylor.
This is my time to shine.
It is.
I can wear sweatpants. I don't have to leave my house. I don't have to talk to people I don't want to talk to. People are always like, how are you doing in the quarantine? I love the fact that I don't have to go to dinners that I don't want to go to. I love that I don't have to come up with excuses to bail on people. I love the fact that I don't have to touch people and shake their hands. Like, I'm like, I don't want germs. It's gross.
Yep.
Easy.
And now
Easy.
I can just
This is the simplest thing ever.
Corona. Stay away.
I know.
Stay away.
So,
Stay 6 feet away. 6 feet.
It's not.
the draft's going to be
you.
super interesting. It's going to be so interesting.
Erica, I wouldn't
Erica,
do
what do
that.
you think? I've heard a lot of people, Erica, basically say, "Oh, this is going to be such a mess, and what's it going to look like, and how
No.
how can they put this on?" What do you think?
They call each other. They've been calling in their draft picks ever from the war room since day one. I mean, what they might be talking like this, or I might be like, "Hey Taylor, Sam, kind of feeling, so and so." But then when I call the pick in, that's the same as it always is.
I think that this has made everybody realize that you can do a lot more from
home.
Nowhere. From nowhere. But that kind of scares me. That kind of scares me. Are people now going to be more and more?
I don't think so. I think because it's lasted so long, I think that people are going to be dying to get out. But I do think that in some regards, you don't need to go into an office to do a job that you can just do from your computer.
Yeah.
And the world is turning more digital now than ever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
People want stuff immediately. People want stuff on their phones. People want to be able to communicate and talk. And it's really just not that hard. You don't need to schedule
the NFL, by the way, is going to knock this out of the park.
201.
The NFL is going to knock this out of the park. For everyone that's wondering how it's going to look and how they're going to do it, I think they are going to crush this event. Every time the NFL takes a chance and does something that people,
I think we're going to see a virtual Super Bowl where you can just buy a little emoji or whatever it is, your 3D avatar, and you're going to be in the stands and viewing it from that seat.
That's crazy.
That's definitely happening. No.
Oh, that's happening.
That's 100%. Definitely happening.
What am I going to look like in avatar form? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, but that misses the whole point. That's like it's being in the stadium, being with your friends, like the buzz and the atmosphere.
I think that will still exist, but this is going to be a whole other element that's going to be introduced, another revenue stream.
I'm so into the idea of going.
And you're going to be able to smell popcorn and feel the sounds, or like the sights and sounds of fans.
That's insane.
No, Erica, this is perfect. Erica, this is perfect.
Disney.
All the horrible parts.
I know.
The traffic situation, the weather situation, the bathroom situation, the price of.
I don't like people that much.
This is going to end up on Twitter for like hot takes. You cannot take it away from how great being in a stadium with fans. That like
not everybody can travel.
No, I'm going to Taylor's virtual.
So they can pay X amount of dollars to be an avatar and see virtual sunglasses of like what it's like from that seat and feel like you're there. Why not do it?
I'm in on this 100%.
You don't have to worry about germs. You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about getting a flight to wherever the Super Bowl is. You don't have to worry about any of the other hoopla and madness, but you can still feel like you're there from that seat.
Yeah, I think it's a great option, but also like the last Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls.
Physical going to the event is never going to go away, I don't think.
Right.
But I do think that this is going to be, it's going to speed up this other element that was eventually going to come.
2 Super Bowls ago, I had some friends with me, and there was the Eagles-Pats one. Yeah, I know. I paid them.
Please tell the rest of this story. Eagles-Pats. I know how it ends, but tell the story.
Eagles-Pats. Spoiler alert, the Pats lost. It was my first Super Bowl. Justin Timberlake was the halftime show, who's my absolute favorite. Like, I was a ball of tears. I had to work till 4 in the morning. Yeah. At the Super Bowl till 4 in the morning. I had to stay there. There was a guy blowing the Eagles with a leaf blower, the green confetti off the field at 4 in the morning. And I was like by myself uploading some stupid stuff. And I was so upset. But during that game, when there was that back and forth, it was ATN. Yeah, stupid ATN.
Dan?
Yes.
Greg's? Who's did it freeze on?
All 4 of them. All 4 of them had to do the whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
It was one in particular.
Always is. But so I'm uploading this whatever. But during the actual game, the going back and forth, Pats would score, Eagles would score. It was just 1 minute you're hugging the people next to you. You didn't even know. The next you're pacing. There was the long snapper's mom from the Patriots was right in front of us, and she kept turning around. And we were up in like standing room only because I had friends and we all wanted to be together. And she was like the last row of a physical seat. And she's holding her hand. She's hugging us when he like made, snapped the ball for the long kick or whatever. And then when he missed that, they missed a kick because of the long snapper.
He missed. Both teams missed an extra point in that game.
Right. it was because of him. He slipped the ball. And so like hugging his mom, who we never had met, because everyone's just hugging and crying and also happy when it was great and bad when it was bad. Like you can't recreate that. You can't recreate that. You can't. Exactly.
I kind of love this.
No, absolutely not. But there is some sort of beauty of not having the luxury of being able to go to the game and still feeling like you're in the game and being able to experience that, because a lot of times people can't buy a $5,000 or $10,000 freaking Super Bowl ticket.
Who can? Yeah, exactly.
And so to be able to be there and feel like you're there, it's kind of like going to Disney when you're going on those rides and you're going to Africa and then you're going to Hawaii and then you're going to all these different locations, and they make it feel like you're there. And I think that eventually it's going to get to that sort of technology where you can feel like you're there virtually and buy a seat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm into Taylor's idea. By the way, you were talking about missing games, Taylor.
And then we can all bet, because we all bet here, because we're allowed to do that at the NFL, on who's going to jump in the pond first. There's an avatar of Erica. So just
put your money there.
First. I have a question for both of you, though. Taylor, you talked about missing games so much, and of course,
sports, especially.
I looked up just the other day, and they were replaying the Saints and Falcons game from right after Katrina, when the Saints blocked the punt against Michael Vick, and that was sort of their run. That was the first year they made the run to the NFC Championship. They lost to the Bears that year, but it was the tremendous return of the Saints. And I'm watching that game, and I'm thinking, as much as I miss live sports in the moment now, all of the games that are being replayed on the channel that I would traditionally turn to, it reminds me of how important the euphoria of sports is also for me. Because as much as it's fun to watch a game that I don't know the outcome of, I got to tell you, I'm loving looking up and having a memory immediately associated with the event I'm watching. There's something incredible about that. Erica, when you're telling the story of the Super Bowl, and as an Eagles fan, of course, you couldn't have picked one that would have been more immediately stirred up for me. But even that game I talk about, Saints Falcons, which I'm not personally tied to necessarily, there's just something about that. I see it and I say, wow, there's just an immediate memory in there. There's an immediate piece of history that hits me, and the emotion that floods over me is different than just, let's say, the stress of not knowing the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
Right? When you're watching a live game, there's that buzz and the stress, what's going to happen. But for me, it's almost like watching a movie that I really enjoy when I'm seeing a game that I know the outcome of. I'm actually struggling right now deciding whether I like the live event more than the event I've already seen that I get to enjoy. It almost felt like watching a TV show that I enjoy. That's fine, but I'm just saying I did get something out of it. There really is something to seeing the replayed event for me that I guess I really cherish as a sports fan. Also, it's just another way of enjoying sports for me. In other words, the entire experience is not gone for me in what we're going through. That's all it hit me with when I saw that.
Definitely. I mean, rewatching, I think I'm sort of the opposite almost, because it's like if I watch the Patriots comeback game to the Falcons, Super Bowl 51, during that game, I was out in LA. I had friends over for the Super Bowl, but they're all local to here. If I was with my friends back home, we would have all been together feeling one way. This was everyone's taking Instagram, Snapchat videos of me so angry, so upset, like sitting in the corner by myself. Everyone thought it was so funny being like, oh, Erica, the Patriots fan, Patriots aren't going to win this time. And then when they started to come back and I'm getting up and I'm yelling at the TV and everyone else is dumbfounded. And then when they won that game, we all went to the bar. I lost my voice. Everyone was just so happy because I was so crazy. And it's like that memory, which was at home, wasn't at the game or whatever. I don't think I could ever think of a game more fondly than that because of the turn of events.
Tom brought that up in the Howard Stern interview, which I thought that was really interesting and introspective of him to kind of look at what his mentality was during that. And he said he worked with a psychologist or a therapist or whatever it was he started working with him during college, and he kind of changed his outlook on things, where rather than feeling like the victim, like, oh, I'm the third string. Well, I only get 3 shots and they get 30 chances. Rather than looking at it as the victim, you've got to look at it and change your entire, hold yourself responsible, be accountable, change your perspective on things, and just basically be the one that's responsible for your career. So when you get those 3 chances, be like, I get those 3 chances, and in those 3 chances, I'm going to prove it. And he said that psychologist was kind of like the one that changed his view on how he goes about like his playing.
Yeah,
so
it's so easy to say
28-3. He's thinking, okay, great. Like rather than being down, he's like, okay, this is going to be an awesome story. I'm going to go. We're going to go in here, and we're going to make one of the most remarkable Super Bowls of all time by doing a comeback. So rather than being like, oh, poor pitiful us, we're going to have to go down here and try and do a drive, and probably we don't have a chance of coming back. He changes his entire psyche and kind of his viewpoint and perspective, and I think that was kind of introspective because that's something that you can apply to everyday life.
Erica, tell me for real, 28-3. Taylor, it's so true that you just said that because none of us in that situation are thinking,
no,
right, this is still our game. This is still our game. But Erica, watching that with all your friends piling on, was there really a part of you that thought, all right, 28-3, but we can chip away. It's the Super Bowl. We're calm and cool. Nothing, right?
Nothing.
It's over.
Nothing. I mean, throughout the points adding up, I'm like, we can still do this. We can still get it. And then it was like,
but 28-3.
I was like, oh, it's done. I'm getting texts from my dad like, Brady sucks. Like, that's what everyone in Mass does all of a sudden. They're like, oh, he's garbage. He's too old. Like, everyone gets so mad.
Tommy messed us over this time.
Tommy really sucks. Yeah, that was, I really was like, I got to turn this TV off, but we're here at a Super Bowl party at my own house. I can't kick people out.
I would have.
It was
in my room and like food poisoning.
Yep, it was a comedy spectacle. I was on everyone's, Snapchat was big at the time. I was on everyone's Snap, and I got the last laugh.
You got the last laugh on that one.
I'll never forget it.
The Edelman catch in that game.
Oh my God.
Moments, I mean, there's moments in any game, but
I gotta go watch that right now. Like, I gotta wrap out. Like,
again, I talk about the euphoria again because look, I just say that, right? I say the Edelman catch, and look at your whole body just.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, you can remember that. It was just as unlikely as that entire comeback was that catch. If you watch frame by frame that catch, there are moments where it's simply impossible that he ended up with a completion there.
I know.
There's no part of that seems likely with the ball tipped the way it is. Even when it's about to hit the ground, he turns over. I have no idea how that all went down.
To wrap this all up, I do want to give a reference to a movie which was absolutely hysterical, which was when Tom announced that he was obviously leaving and going to the Bucks. There was a funny clip from The Town where Ben Affleck is talking to the guy, whatever actor it is in The Town, talking about how he's leaving Boston. And it was a reenaction of Brady talking to Edelman saying, I've got to get out of this town. I'm putting it in my rearview mirror. And Edelman's like, this is your town. We can't put this into your rearview mirror. It's an absolutely great clip, and it's so spot on. So everybody should go check that out. And
that applies perfectly, Taylor. You're so right about that.
It does apply perfectly. It's hysterical.
And of course, The Town. It really is a sound. By the way, next time we do this, Erica,
is going to show us. I was about to say this. We got to get her to show us some of her comedy skills because we've been talking straight up football. Unfortunately,
I know. What is this?
I know. I want it to be. I want us to like grace us with her comedy because she's absolutely hysterical. She'll have you in stitches by the end of it.
And you'll be on the elliptical next time, Erica, right?
Yes, but you won't be able to tell because I'll be sitting down. So it's just like my legs will be moving.
Can I use your tennis racket and those tennis balls that were?
No, because you dissed it and said it was from 1992.
Yeah, something like that.
Nah, it's like 15 years old, but gotta get that workout in.
Just like send Jimmy over here for the quarantine. I want to make sure.
By the way, the episode of Erica and Taylor where I think you're going through you're going through Erica's closet.
My closet, yeah.
Yes. That please send everybody there. That is a funny.
Thank you. Yeah, check out the broadcast. Yeah, especially Taylor's episode. It was amazing.
That is a great one. It really, and didn't you give Taylor a nickname in that one? It was hysterical as well.
Hashtag TB not tuberculosis, like LOL or something. Something like that. The creative genius is Emma, though. My partner. She's
TB12.
No, it wasn't. TB times T12. Yeah. Shout out to Emma. She's the brains behind.
We get her on here too.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Well, now that we know how to do this, thanks to Erica.
So many things to go do.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of places to be tonight.
Yeah, I do. Got a bottle of wine with my name on it, so I gotta get going.
Okay. You got the elliptical. Taylor, you're not running. You're just staying. You're just walking. You're pacing inside, which is kind of hilarious. Although whose shot looks the best? I would say Taylor for sure.
Yeah,
You have the
Taylor, your
coolest
light
light.
looks good.
Your lighting is amazing.
I
The
have a little
lamp is
mood
placed
lighting
well.
behind
Yeah,
me.
what do you have behind yours?
Just like a nice
Okay, I
salt
like that.
lamp.
I
Yeah.
was trying to get over by the nice artwork in the hotel room here. There's look at that.
Oh
There you
wow, look at that
go.
beauty. Looks
I
like
just
a
did that.
Picasso.
It's nice.
Van
Yeah,
Gogh up in here.
I put that together real quick. I had a
There you
roller.
go.
Roller out. Yeah, it was
Kind of
nice.
looks like your skill level.
Thank you. just one swap, right? Just one
Splotches.
stroke. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. It's nice. I made that one for you, Taylor. That's all for you. All right, let's catch up. By the way,
Let's catch up.
Untuck It shirts. Please go to untuckit.com.
If you want to look suave like Sammy.
Cool, and you want to paint like me and my cool shirt. Where am I over here? Look at that. If you want to paint like that.
Tom Brady does one half tucked, one half untucked on his way into games sometimes. So if you want to get like Tom, if you want to get like TB12, go to Untuck It.
I like it. I actually pulled the TB. I had the hood and the sport coat on the other day, just like Tommy, which was nice. The hoodie and the sport coat.
Doing double takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't want to come up and say anything because of the corona.
Keep your distance. Easy. All right, elliptical Erica. We'll do this again for sure. We have to.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me, you guys. It was a blast.
Thank you for coming on.